And Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister James Marape says he remains the country's leader and is confident he can keep hold of the top job. Mr Marape's government lost control of power in Parliament today when several MPs from his coalition crossed the floor to join the opposition. They moved to suspend Parliament until next month, but procedural technicalities prevented a vote of no confidence against Mr Marape. Well, for more on the future of Papua New Guinea's Prime Minister James Marape, I'm joined now by Dr. Tess Cain, Adjunct Associate Professor at the Griffith Asia Institute. Thank you so much for your time. How big a surprise is this move against James Marape?
We've heard that there have been rumours of a motion of no confidence against him for quite some time, particularly as we approach the end of the grace period that he's currently been benefiting from, which comes at the end of this month. I think there was some surprise that it happened today and not in the next sitting of Parliament. But as I say, there's been quite a bit of chatter about this for a while now.
The Prime Minister came out with a big show of support this afternoon. How likely is he to be able to hang on to his job?
Well, Karina, this is PNG politics. So what happens now is that people will go into camps and there will be a lot of horse trading. The phones and the WhatsApp groups will be running hot through the night for the next little while as numbers are crunched and people are offered and made offers and counter offers of what they will or won't get depending on where they align. As things currently stand, the opposition had 57 vote with them in Parliament this morning. Since then, the Prime Minister has claimed that he has 52. Obviously, they need 56 for a majority. So there's obviously already a bit of flexing in those numbers, and I expect we'll see more of that in the next little while.
So what was it that prompted this action by James Marape's coalition partners?
So it's hard to know exactly what the trigger was. I have heard from some quarters that the passage of the anti-corruption bill yesterday was an immediate trigger, but I think that would need to be verified before we could get too convinced of that. I think more generally, there's been a bit of a sense that Marape came to power about 18 months ago with a lot of rhetoric and flourish, particularly around taking back Papua New Guinea, making Papua New Guinea the richest black Christian nation on earth. But when it comes to actually what he's been able to deliver, then that seems to be lacking in some people's view. Obviously, we know that the economy is in very dire straits in Papua New Guinea, and the impacts of COVID-19 are certainly exacerbating those issues. But there have been other concerns around a lack of confidence or a growing lack of confidence in the resources sector based on some of the decisions that he's made, and just generally a feeling that he hasn't really lived up to the promise. Having said that, he's only been in power 18 months.
Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison is due in Papua New Guinea next Wednesday. His office says that trip will go ahead. Is it going to be slightly awkward?
So there's been a bit of discussion about this in Papua New Guinea. The opposition leader, Belden Nama, has been very critical of this proposed visit and said that he feels it's inappropriate for Scott Morrison to visit at this time, that it would be essentially him being seen to take sides in domestic politics in Papua New Guinea. And subsequently, at a press conference earlier today, Prime Minister Marape was quite bullish. He said, I am still the leader of this government. It's business as usual. If our international partners want to come, then I'm available to meet with them. So I think we will need to see nearer the time what Mr Morrison's office advises. As far as I know, his latest position on that is that he anticipates being in Port Moresby to watch the State of Origin decider with James Marape on Wednesday, but we'll have to see whether that actually eventuates.
How do you anticipate this situation being resolved? Will it happen before Parliament is set to resume next month?
Look, there'll be a lot of backwards and forwards. I think, as I said, there'll be horse trading around numbers. People will make promises of various sorts, and everybody will remain very confident about what their numbers are. But essentially, until people go into Parliament on the 1st of December and we see who sits where, we won't know what the final count is.
OK, Tess Cain, really good to get your thoughts. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Karina.